If I could be didactic about just one thing, though I hope to God that limit is never imposed upon me, it would be my belief that young people, young women in particular, must commit their experiences to paper. If for no other reason than this, only you will ever have these experiences, and we won't want to have lost them after you go, or forget, or grow up, and get terrible snow boots. But you may also find, as I did, that the sentences might become the planks that form a raft that drags you ashore, wet and gasping on a welcome beach. I've always thought that there's something essentially radical about a woman deciding her life is worthy of writing down. I'm happy I decided that for myself in that fall of 2005. Because when I reread these snippets and observations, I feel a very different way than I do when I read my cringe-inducing poetry or terribly dramatic plays with titles like The Empty Wheelchair from around the same period. I read these with a certain amount of pride in my younger self, impressed at how she scurried back to her mouse hole with big wedgie cheeses of life. I still try to scurry, but it's not always easy. I had a dream recently that I was part of a women's writing group. We were a merry bunch, diverse in age and ambition, who gathered around a warm wooden table, and this is how we worked. We stabbed each other in the shoulder with shiny knives, careful to avoid major arteries, set a timer for 10 minutes, and then were asked to write through the pain. At the end of the 10 minutes, we would all receive medical treatment, but not before we did our best work. I awoke both repulsed by the obviousness of the metaphor, but impressed by its tidiness too. As women, we work through pain that seems impossible. Sometimes it's the result of life's randomized gut punches, but often enough, it's self-inflicted. That pain has a purpose, but we might not see it until a decade or so later, when Twitter has been invented and we've already quit it twice. What I discovered when these journals resurfaced a few months ago was that these snippets, easily dismissed as the random chatter of a not quite human, are still potent long after they were initially committed to paper. Each fragment has the power to send me back to a time long forgotten. There we were watching a parade from the window, our sunburned legs dangling out onto Main Street, USA. And there I was in the loamy bedroom of someone who thought he would be a talk show host one day. And I can feel the inconsequential weight of my shitty Target duvet as I rest my computer on my knees and write for dear life. Here's to hoping your writing, whatever form it may take, has this same time machine magic that'll remind you where you've been, just how strong you were even when you felt weak, and just how ready you are for the next moment.
Thank you, Kirby.